Marhaba, Assalamu alaikum. We are still learning about Arabic alphabet, and today we are going to learn about an easy letter. It's حرف الدال. So far we have learned about حرف الألف and this triplet ba, ta and tha, and this triplet jim, ha and kha. And today we are going to learn about this twin, dal and dal. And I believe they are like an easy twin. Okay, easy to pronounce and easy to write. As usual, as you can see here, they share the same shape, and the only difference as usual is the dots. As you can see here, the first twin, حرف الدال, it has only this shape, okay, but حرف الذال has one dot above. Today we are going to learn about حرف الدال, which only has the shape and it doesn't have any dots. So as you can see here, dal has only a shape, the shared shape between the two twin, and it doesn't have any dots. The shape, as you can see, has two lines, a horizontal line, and it's drawn on the line, and a vertical line which has a bit of an acute angle, but to be honest, this angle differs. Like here, for example, in this type of writing, you can see it's more or less a right angle, but when we write it by hand or in most writings, you can see that it has like a bit of an acute angle, not a very small or a very acute angle, but a bit of acute angle. Okay, so how to pronounce it? As you can see, حرف الدال from the name dal, so it's pronounced D, okay? It's more or less sounds like the letter D in English. Of course, there is a bit of difference, but it's more or less like it, okay? So, how to pronounce it? As you can see here, it's pronounced by having the tip of the tongue slightly pressured against the top of the mouth, just behind the front or the upper teeth, okay? So, dal, dal. Maybe you can notice the difference. It's not really like the English D. There is no saturation while pronouncing it, so it's dry. Dal, dal, dal. Okay, حرف الدال, da. How to pronounce it with different حركات or تشكيل? As usual, we have three main حركات: فتحة, كسرة, and ضمة. فتحة is above the letter and it produces the A sound, so da. كسرة is below the letter and it produces the E sound, so D. Okay, ضمة, which is like a little comma above the letter and it produces the U sound. Okay, so do. Okay, let's see some examples with حرف الدال with different حركات. So here an example of حرف الدال with فتحة. This word is دلو. Okay, here حرف الدال with كسرة, ديك. Okay, here حرف الدال with ضمة, دب دب. And I guess dub is the only word maybe you can fully recognize because you know حرف الباء. So this is dub. Okay, let's learn how to write it isolated and connected. And again, it's one of the easiest letters to write. Actually, حرف الدال is written on the line, and it consisted of two lines, one vertical and one horizontal. Okay, it says if you're trying to draw a triangle but only with two lines, not three lines. Okay, so simply it's written like this. We need to write it on the line, so let's try again. Okay, so like this. It's hard to write on computers, to be honest. Like this. Okay, so as you can see here, the horizontal line is on the line and the vertical one has a bit of acute angle. Okay, with the vertical line. The vertical line and the horizontal line has some sort of an acute angle, not a small one, not a very acute one. Okay, so it's a bit diagonal as you can see here. So again, you can start by the line, the vertical one, or you can start by the horizontal one and then attach the vertical one with it. Okay, so you can start like whatever is easier for you, the way it's easy for you, like you choose it. Okay, just remember that if you choose to write ha, for example, jim, ha and kha in this way, make them very acute, make the angle very acute, not like the dal. For example, if you're trying to write ha, okay, do you remember ha? We have jim, ha and kha. Do you remember that triplet we have just learned about? Okay, ha had no lines, for example. Of course you can write it with the curve, okay, and then the horizontal connected to the horizontal line. Do you remember this is ha? If we add a dot below, it's jim. If we add a dot above, so it's ha. But let's imagine it's ha with no dots. Okay, so you can write it curved just like this. Okay, or if this curve is hard for you, remember we said you can just write it as a straight line. So what is the difference? The straight line will have a very acute angle with the horizontal line. This is the difference. The straight will have a very acute angle with the line below. Okay, so let's try to make it so we have a horizontal line. If we make it very acute like this, so this is ha. Okay, but if we make it like this, not a small, not a very acute one, this is dal. Okay, and of course you can add the curve to make it even easier for you to recognize. So this is ha, this is dal, this is dal, this is ha. If we add the dot, this is jim. Okay, this is just a tip for you to differentiate, like while you're writing, between dal and ha or jim. Okay, so if we want to write dal connected, again it's an easy letter because it doesn't change its shape when it's connected, not like jim, ha and kha, which were like they changed their shape when they were connected. Dal is an easy one because it doesn't change its shape, and it's like alif, like it has many similarities with alif, because if you remember, alif also didn't change its shape and it was connected to the letter before and never to the letter after. So dal has the same concept. It doesn't change its shape and is connected only to the letter before and never to the letter after. So here in the beginning, so dal is the first letter and there is a letter after. It's not connected. It's as if it's isolated, not connected to the letter after. So if we imagine that there is harf al-ba after it, we will write it like this. Okay, so it's like the word dub. Okay, as you can see, no connection, no horizontal connection between dal and ba. Okay, if it's in the middle, so there would be a letter before and a letter after, but as you see here, there is only a connection for the letter before and there is no connection for the letter after. Okay, so as you can see here, if we imagine that there is harf al-ba before it, we will connect it like this. But if there is a letter after, let's imagine it's harf al-ta. Do you remember the smiley face? Okay, if it's before it, after it, as you can see, we wrote ta as if it was isolated. Why? No connection. You remember, the connection is this small horizontal line. We didn't write it because dal connected before and not connected after, just like letter alif. Okay, if it's in the end, this means there would be a letter before it, nothing after. It's at the end of the word. So let's imagine if there was harf al-tha, the 3 dots, if you remember before it, we will connect it like this. Okay, and we will not of course connect it to anything after because it's the end letter. Okay, so this is dal connected. Okay, so if it's in the beginning, there would be a letter after. Okay, but we will not connect it to a letter after. We will just keep it as if it's isolated, and we will draw the letter after the way it is. For example, there is dal in the beginning. Okay, the letter after, if it's ba, it would be like this. Ba, it's like a boat with a paddle below. Okay, if ba is connected, do you remember how to write it? We will just erase the end of the ba and we will connect it. Okay, so we will remove the left part and we will connect it to whatever letter after. Let's imagine it's letter ta, so it would be connected like this. Ta, 2 dots. Ta, 2 dots. Okay, so this is dal in the beginning. If it's in the middle, so there would be a letter before and a letter after. It will be connected, so we write or draw our connection before. So let's imagine it's ba again. It would be connected like this. And if there is a letter after, we will not connect it to this letter. Let's imagine it's ta, the smiley face, so it's connected before and not after. If it's in the end, so it would be connected to the letter before. Let's imagine it's ba again, like this. Okay, let's imagine we want to write something with alif and dal together. Okay, let's like advance it a bit. Okay, so alif, it's not connected to the letter after. Dal, it's not connected to the letter after. They have the same rule. How we would write a word with these two letters? Okay, so if it started with alif, okay, we will write alif, of course, like it's a straight line. And if there is dal after it, we will write dal as if it's isolated, because alif never connected to the letter after. If there is another letter after dal, let's imagine it's ba, so it will not be connected again. So, and this is a word, by the way, but as you can see, we followed the rules. Alif not connected to the letter after, dal not connected to the letter after, so we respected that. By the way, ba has no problem to be connected to whatever letter before, after, like it loves to be connected, but it respects the letter. Okay, so if the letter before it doesn't want to be connected, it doesn't connect, so we write it as if it's isolated. Okay, so as you can see here, no connection after, no connection after, no connection here, and no connection here. Okay, after, no connection. This is alif and dal and their rule not to be connected. Okay, let's practice your reading skill now with حرف الدال in the beginning. As you can see here, we have our letter حرف الدال, and can you see here, like let's imagine there is the line. As you can see, dal is on the line, the jim, most of it is below the line. Okay, let's try to read this word. This word starts with dal with fatha. Okay, so da. This letter we haven't learned about yet, but this is pronounced like the Spanish ra. Okay, the Spanish r, ra, and it also has fatha, so ra. The last one, okay, the curve, the C, one dot inside, this is jim, and this is a noun and it's not in a sentence, so the last letter has no harakat, no vowels. Let's try to read this word. Da, ra, j, daraj, daraj, da, ra, j, daraj. Okay, perfect. Let's try this one. Again, we have our letter dal. Do you see here how the angle is so like a bit of an acute angle? It's not so obvious, okay? Not like jim or ha or ha, okay? And not to be confused with other letters. Usually it has a big vertical line, okay? Like, of course, not as long as the alif, like the alif would be longer, but it's longer than ba and ta and tha, for example, okay? So again, back to our reading. Dal has kasra, so D. This one we haven't learned about yet. This is ya, okay, pronounced like ya, ya. and it has kasra as well, so it would be pronounced like E. The last one, again, we haven't learned about yet. It's pronounced like N, okay? Not N English, but Arabic N. So let's try to pronounce it. D, D, Yin, Deen, 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 Deen. And Deen, by the way, means religion, okay? Deen means religion. Okay. Let's read these words with harf الدال in the middle. We know the first two, okay? The last one, it's pronounced like ha, ha, okay? Like ha. Okay, let's see the first one. Do you see the difference between the acute angle? It has this curve, okay? It's not straight, it's curved, and it has a very acute angle with the horizontal line below. So this one of the triplet, Jim, Ha, and Kha. It has one dot below, so this is Jim. And the haraka, the mark above it is Fatha. So it would be pronounced like Ja, Ja. Here we have our letter Dal. The mark above it, it's like this little W above, which is Shadda, which means the letter will be doubled. It would be pronounced 2 times, not 1 time. It would be stressed, okay? We will put a stress on this letter, okay? And we will pronounce it doubled 2 times with fatha. So we will pronounce the da 2 times, and in the end ha sound. Okay, let's give it a try. Jad, ja, d, da, jad, da, jad, da, jad, da. Notice the difference. Notice how we pronounce the dal 2 times. Let's imagine there was no shadda. It was only fatha. So we would pronounce dal 1 time. So it would be jada, jada, jada. Okay? But with shadda, it's jadda, jadda. Notice the stress on the dal. And by the way, Jadda, Jadda means a grandmother. Jadda means a grandmother. Also, there is a city in Saudi Arabia called Jeddah. Okay. Let's see this one. We know the first 2. The last letter, it's pronounced like the Spanish ra. The first one, okay, it's the ba, but it's connected, so we removed the end part of it. We know the ba because it has 1 dot below, and it has fatha, so it would be pronounced like ba. It's connected with dal, and there is a circle above the dal. The circle means no vowels, no harakat, no a or e or o, just the letter with no vowels. And in the end we have this letter ra. Okay, let's try to pronounce it. Ba, d, r, badr, badr, badr. And badr means a full moon. Okay, a full moon. Okay, let's try to pronounce these words with dal in the end. The first 2 we haven't learned about yet. The first letter, it's like the dhamma, it's like the little comma that we put above. And this is true. They both produces like the U sound. The wa mainly pronounced like wa, okay, like doubly, okay, and it has fatha above, so it will be pronounced like wa. The second one, as you can see here, it's pronounced like L, not like the English L, but lam, la, okay, it has fatha, so la. And in the end we have daal, and it's a noun, so no harakat because it's not in a sentence. Let's try to pronounce it. Wa walad, walad, walad. Walad means a boy. Walad means a boy. Do you remember how to say a girl in Arabic? I know it would be hard to remember, but let's give it a try. It was bint. Bint. Bint means a girl. Walad means a boy. Walad. Walad. Okay, let's see this one. Again, the first letter we haven't learned about yet. It's pronounced like ya. Okay, it has fatha, so ya. And again, dal in the end. Okay, and it's a noun, no sentence, so it has no harakat. Let's give it a try. Yad, yad, yad. Yad means a hand. Yad means a hand. Okay, perfect. So that was all for today. Hope you are getting better at reading Arabic. It's getting easier for you, and of course with practice everything will be perfect. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and see you next time.